So, Atari 2600 games running on a Super Nintendo. What we're seeing there is a regular Nintendo Super Famicom, which was the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo. This will also work on the PAL version, and should be American ones as well. In that is a Super EverDrive, which is a cartridge you can buy from AliExpress and various other places, pretty cheap. You put a SD card in there in the top with Super Nintendo ROMs on, and it plays Super Nintendo games. So, how are we doing this with 2600 games indeed? Well, there we go, that's what the old 2600 looked like. Now, this thing isn't running 2600 Atari ROMs. Instead, what it is running are the ROMs from this thing, which is the 2004 Atari Flashback. This was a plug-and-play console. It all looked like this, but instead of emulating the original Atari games, it was emulating Nintendo ports of these games. Someone somewhere has made Atari ports of all 2600 games, 20 of them in fact, and they came on with a menu that looked like this, which looks much more Nintendo-like. But that's how this is possible, because it is now possible to now play NES games on a regular Super Nintendo using this thing called Project Nested. Now, this is a freely available program. It's still a work in progress, but it does a lot of NES games very well. So Project Nested, I've loaded in all these games from here, which are the games from the Atari Flashback, the representations which were made for the for that particular Flashback console. And we go to this, you hit a button and you press open and then save SNES, and within that you then have a SNES version which it will play in a Super Nintendo. If we were to put that on there, this is just playing in an emulator. There we go, Centipede. I don't know how close these representations are to the original games, because I didn't have a 2600. I knew lots of people that did, grandparents, cousins, friends, whatever. There are some games in here which don't work. So out of 20 games, there are 17 that are working. So there's one particular one in here which is Atari Flashback Mini. I think that is because of the file size. Everything that's would be on that particular thing with the menu included. Now, that doesn't work if we're to do that and hit save SNES. It doesn't work. It says mapper 534 isn't supported. So there are certain things within this that it's not doing in terms of emulating what the NES was capable of. And in fact, I don't think the NES ever would have been able to play this either. I could be wrong. What we are trying this on is the Super Nintendo today, because that's what we changed it to. So let's get on the Super Nintendo channel on the TV and see what we get, because I haven't tried this on real hardware yet. So let's select a game. Let's get down to the Atari projects. Where are we? The Atari Experiments even. Let's see what happens. Let's load in Centipede. My understanding is this one is a more recent version, isn't the version which would have originally released on the Atari 2600 in the 70s or 80s, whenever this was released. But let's see if it works. And it does. Good. Here we go. I'm playing a version that was recreated for a flashback console, for a plug-in console on a Super Nintendo. This is bizarre.